Georgia offensive tackle Broderick Jones is a guy a lot of scouts are high on, in large part because he was only a one-year starter. They think his best football is in front of him. So when you look at the growth, there's a ton of it for Broderick Jones. He's not a tall tackle at 6'4". In fact, he almost looks like a guard, but he's got great feet. He's tough enough. He has the ability to move. When you pop on the tape, one of the things that stands out is his ability to get to the second level. He can pull, he's athletic, and I think that's why the scouts are excited about him and his potential growth as a left tackle in pass protection. Who's he remind me of? RASHAWN SLATER, shorter tackle, had a great rookie season for the Los Angeles Chargers. I think Broderick Jones can step in and help a team right away as a starting left tackle.
Joey Porter Jr. This is personal for me because I remember little Joey Porter when he was a little lad running around the locker room with his dad, who I played with, Joey Porter Sr. But get this, it's that time. No question, big time baller for Penn State, 6'2", 198, very, very disruptive at the line of scrimmage, especially with his length, not to mention how he utilizes proper angles in pass coverage, playing off technique. He has good eye discipline as well. I love everything about Joey Porter, and he has that heart that you would like to see in your defenders, especially coming from the bloodline that he's coming from. When you look at his player comp in the National Football League, no other than Benjamin St-Juste, a talented up-and-coming corner for Washington and the Commanders. When you look at his length and how he improved week in and week out for the Commanders, I see the same skill sets in Joey Porter Jr.
KEEANU Benton, nose tackle out of the University of Wisconsin. Big, physical, wide body that can anchor versus the point. Where he gets into trouble is when he works laterally down the line of scrimmage. He has a tendency to turn his shoulders and will get knocked off at the point versus double teams and combo blocks. When he stays square, he can dominate run blockers at the point. He has very good range for a big body. When I watched him on college tape, he did have 2 sacks versus Illinois and a sack in each of his last 4 games. I watched him down at the Senior Bowl, and he was very impressive as an inline pass rusher as he learns to use his hands and his technique. I see this guy is going to be a legit starter in the league. It may take him his first year to learn what the game is about, but he will be a starter. My pro comparison to him is Justin Jones.
Georgia tight end Darnell Washington is a massive tight end. He's 6'7", 270 pounds. He doesn't have a lot of suddenness. So you know what he should do? He should add 35 pounds and become a left tackle. That might sound crazy, but go back a few years. Jason Peters came out of Arkansas as a tight end. And I remember even writing that he should move to left tackle. He's made a lot of money because he did make the move. I think Darnell Washington would do the same thing. When I watch his tape, I see a workman-like receiver who's a great blocker. The comparison, if he does stay at tight end, Marcedes Lewis of the Green Bay Packers. Long-time NFL career in large part because he's the best blocking tight end in the NFL. That's who Washington's going to be on the next level, which is why he should move to left tackle and go make himself a lot of money.
Nick HERBIG, outside linebacker / defensive end from the University of Wisconsin. He's a little undersized, and I'm sure in draft meetings they're talking about him being a tweener. Is he a defensive end or is he a linebacker? He has a high motor, plays with high energy, and is relentless chasing the ball either in run situations or as a pass rusher. A lot of teams will talk about maybe moving him to a stacked position, but his best attribute is rushing the passer. He has excellent quickness off the snap. He can beat most offensive tackles. I saw him drop in coverage, which will be a question. Looked a little stiff and not as instinctive as he is getting after the quarterback, but this guy will play in the NFL. Some team will find a role for him. My comparison to him was a defensive end / linebacker that came out of the University of Michigan a few years ago, Chase Winovich.
Corey Trice, cornerback out of Purdue, reminds me a lot of Brad Faison. Trice looks more like a linebacker than a cornerback, and his 6'3" frame at 206 pounds might make you think that he'll end up a safety. But he moves like a cornerback in space and manhandles wide receivers at the line of scrimmage like one of those linebackers or safeties. Essentially, he gives you the best of both worlds. And not surprisingly, he excels as a tackler and is an asset in run support. Wherever Trice's NFL future lies, corner, safety, or as a hybrid chess piece, he will be a difference maker. both in his ability to reroute receivers off the line of scrimmage and in run support where he's looking to run through the ball carrier. He can sometimes get too handsy in coverage downfield, and he's not as fluid as the top corners in this class, but it's hard to find a lot lacking in his game.
Maryland offensive lineman Spencer Anderson is a player that has exposure playing offensive tackle, but is best suited transitioning inside to either offensive guard or center at the next level. He lacks the arc speed to challenge NFL rushers at the high side and is susceptible to motion across his face. Anderson plays with a strong base and does a good job of adjusting his hands when engaged. He has a good understanding of angles and sealing run lanes. His lateral mobility and recovery speed will present challenges. The Terrapin has average mobility for a lineman, but should be able to play in any blocking scheme. Anderson has starter qualities, but will likely serve as depth early in his career. We have compared him to former NFL offensive guard JAMIL Douglas. Iowa State offensive lineman TREVOR Downing has versatility, having started at multiple positions for the Cyclones over the course of his career. He has late eyes picking up stunts into his gap, and that shortens his reaction time to anchor. Downing is a bit of a plotter with an average lower body build, and he is known to play too high in his stance and can get driven back into the quarterback's lap. The lineman allows defenders to get into his body too quickly and dictate action at the point of contact. Best case scenario is that Downing joins a training camp and is able to compete and find a way for one of those final roster spots. We have compared him to former NFL offensive guard Brad Meester.
Clemson kicker BT Potter has been a part of a lot of wins. He's been a part of championships, and he's had to line up some kicks in some pressurized situations. So making it in the NFL is not going to be anything new to him. One thing that BT Potter was great and always reliable for was nailing those extra point attempts, and that's why we've got him linked up to Seattle Seahawks kicker Jason Myers. I love how much football this guy has played. I love the fact that he was initially given that kicker role early in his career, and even when he would miss a kick, Dabo Swinney always had the confidence to continue to put him back out there. BT Potter has been in big stages before, and Sundays will not scare him, and that's why an NFL team should not be afraid of bringing on BT Potter as their new place kicker.